My grandma's house is in a small village in our area. When I was a kid, every winter or summer break, I'd go stay at my grandma's in the countryside. I loved that rural life, and I was really close with my grandparents. So I'd stay there for a long time whenever I had a holiday. I got to know the kids around my age in the village, and we became good friends. My grandma's house was near the village entrance. There was a small ditch by the entrance, with water that was especially cool and clean. So in the summer, us kids would often play in that ditch. The ditch stretched all the way to a small path. The path had fields on both sides, and hardly anyone lived there. In summer, the grass grew really tall. The adults always told us not to go there, saying there might be snakes, but I remember hearing the grown-ups say that place was cursed. Normally, no one went there. The fields on both sides were abandoned, overgrown with weeds. I was closest with the kids from the houses on my left, right, and the shop across the street. We were all about the same age, give or take a year. Kids, lots of common interests. Plus, the kids on the left and right were both girls, so we were especially close. This incident happened between me and the girl from the house on the left. I'll call the girl on the left Xiaofan, the girl on the right Yezi, and myself Xiaotian. It was a scorching summer day. The sun was blazing. A few of us kids met up to play in the ditch again. Xiaofan's house had a motorcycle repair shop on the ground floor, and the second floor was where they lived. That day was so hot. We followed the ditch all the way into the small path. There were lots of trees and tall grass along the path, so it was cooler than other places. At first, we were too hot to think straight, and forgot the adults' warnings not to go down that path. Only after cooling off did we remember what they said. By then, the sky was getting dark. Weirdly, Yezi hadn't said much all day. She just said she felt dizzy. Then her mom came back from farm work and took her home. When her mom saw us playing on the path, her face darkened, and she looked really serious. She kept urging us to go back. We asked what was wrong with Yezi, and she just said it might be heat stroke. In the end, it was just me and Xiaofan left. I saw it was getting dark, and I started to feel scared. Not of ghosts or anything supernatural. I've never been particularly afraid of that stuff, but I was scared of weird bugs biting me. There were a lot of bugs in the countryside in summer, so I told Xiaofan, let's head back. But she said she wanted to play a bit longer, so I stayed with her. I pushed aside some weeds, and finally saw what was behind the grass. A large graveyard. Some graves had fresh offerings. Flowers, wreaths, incense, candles. It didn't feel right. I said I wanted to go back. Xiaofan was braver than me. She caught some bug or frog, I don't remember, and deliberately scared me with it. I'm terrified of bugs and stuff like that, so I instinctively pushed her away. She fell over. I didn't wait for her. I just cried and ran home. When I got back, something strange happened. I passed out immediately. I don't remember anything after that. The next day, I was conscious, but I couldn't control my body. I had a fever, and I kept hugging the salt jar from the kitchen, eating salt. I knew my grandparents were trying to stop me, asking what was wrong, but it was like my consciousness was separated from my body. I was fully aware, but I couldn't respond. My brother eventually took the salt jar and hid it. Then I suddenly started vomiting, like my stomach was turning inside out. My grandpa got scared and carried me around the yard in circles. He told my grandma that I might have run into something unclean. My grandma agreed it was possible. The whole time, I was completely lucid. I knew what they were saying, but it was like watching from above. No way to react. That day, I didn't eat anything. After vomiting, I had no energy. I ignored everyone who spoke to me. That night, my brother and I were watching TV in the upstairs bedroom. Then my grandma asked me, "Where exactly did you go yesterday?" My grandma was usually very kind, so when she suddenly got stern, I froze. I blurted everything out like an idiot. She rarely scolded me, but she warned me never to play in the ditch again. A little later, she said she had to go out, told me not to call her, and not to ask where she was going. I saw her carrying incense, paper offerings, food and wine, but I didn't ask. She was gone for a long time. I asked my brother, "Where did Grandma go?" He immediately covered my mouth and told me to be quiet. It was a long time before Grandma came back. She told me to go to bed quickly and not to stay up late. She said, "After midnight, don't come downstairs, even to use the bathroom." I was confused, but I fell asleep anyway. The next morning, I was completely fine. Really strange. No medicine, no treatment. Just back to normal. No fever, no vomiting. Years later, when I grew up, I still remembered this incident. So I asked my brother about it. He said, "The path we played on that day led to a graveyard behind it, and one of the graves belonged to Xiaofan's grandmother. Grandma guessed that when I pushed Xiaofan down, right in front of her grandmother's grave, that's what caused everything that followed. It was probably a small punishment. That night, Grandma had gone to call my soul back. She said my soul had been left on that path. The food and wine she brought were to apologize and make amends with Xiaofan's grandmother. In the past, thinking about this used to scare me, but now that my grandparents are gone, remembering it actually makes me sad. Those days living with them feel like they happened just yesterday." Uncle Ghost, hello. I'm a regular viewer of your show. I've always dreamed of submitting a story, but my vocabulary is limited, and my logic might be a bit messy. Please bear with me. In my first year of military service, my unit was full combat training. The physical requirements were extremely high. I was in the elite Sharp Blade squad as a new recruit. Back then, I excelled in most areas, but I was terrible at loaded running. I didn't want to drag the team down, so the pressure was immense. Plus, I was a college student who'd never suffered hardship before enlistment. I sank into depression for over a month. It was only thanks to daily encouragement from my squad leader and comrades that I pulled myself together. The weird dream happened during that time. In the dream, I was a member of a special forces team. We were airdropped by helicopter at night onto a small hill in the middle of a ruined city, one of the higher points in the urban area. The city had no name, but it looked like it had been heavily bombed. There were no lights anywhere. We could only see by bright moonlight. Almost no building was intact. No high-rises. Our mission was to rescue the remaining survivors. I didn't know how many there were, or where they were. We just searched aimlessly. It was dead silent all around. We reached a street and were checking our gear when we spotted a zombie moving slowly, limping across the road. The road wasn't wide, so I thought I'd practice my aim. I raised my Type 95 assault rifle and aimed at its head, but in the dream, even at just over 10 meters, I couldn't aim straight. Maybe I was nervous. I decided to fire anyway. Bang, missed. The gunshot startled the zombie. It roared and charged at me. My teammates were about 7 or 8 meters away. I vaguely remember them, but they couldn't help in time. In that split second of distraction, the zombie was already on me, arms wrapped around my waist, mouth wide open, about to bite. Luckily, it was short. I used my left arm guard to push its head away, thinking, holy crap, am I done for? But my rifle jammed. Weirdly, it just wouldn't fire. The zombie was too close. No choice. I drew my backup pistol from my right thigh. Damn it, the pistol jammed too. Wouldn't fire. My teammates didn't dare shoot, because we were grappling, moving too much, and the risk of friendly fire was high. As for hand-to-hand, the whole fight lasted only a few seconds. Then I suddenly remembered. I had a tiny backup pistol. Last resort. Thankfully that one worked. Headshot. Killed it. Ishika. Nobitas. We continued searching house by house. Everywhere was littered with debris, furniture, clothes, small daily items. Almost every room was a mess. Dirty. Walls were filthy. Some even had torn, chaotic newspaper clippings pasted on them. Until I entered this house. It was small, narrow. 3 of us went in together. I was closest to one of the rooms, so I went in to check. Our rifles had flashlights attached, but the beam was narrow. Limited visibility. I turned left into the room and jumped. An old lady, plump, wearing a white tank top like the kind worn for chores, holding a kitchen knife in her left hand, head down, glaring viciously. Not at me. I was shocked. Pitch black room, turn around, and this. The knife was dripping blood. But I stayed calm and looked down. She had just killed a zombie at her feet. She was a survivor. The dream ended there. The final perspective switched. I was now a sniper, lying prone on a building at the hill where we'd landed, wondering how to rejoin my team alone. The helicopter was gone. Even if we saved the survivors, how would we escape safely? That's when I woke up. Probably to the morning reveille. The earlier parts of the dream could be explained by stress and depression, but the weird part came later, in real life. I accidentally discovered a painting by an artist. The perspective and environment, when I saw the old lady in the dream, were uncannily similar to the painting. Could we have both been in the same dream? That inexplicable sense of déjà vu left me questioning the world.